Now we have Tim Cunningham, everybody knows him from Kansas, on the EMTSP update.
Results that I want to share with you on the research voting that we did last night. So the two projects that the regions brought in and we voted on scored the best. You see on the left-hand side there the rankings. First is the long-term effects of aging the fleet on operational availability and cost. And second was the research to increase buying power, purchasing methods, and delivery date accountability. So there you go. You can see on the right-hand side, remember it's like golf, the low score is the best and the high score is the worst, and the ranking there on the left. So an update on EMTSP is the Equipment Management Technical Services Program. That's what has brought us all here today. It's a part of AASHTO. AASHTO has technical services programs. It's not people, it's a program. It's dollars. States are asked to contribute to this program. It's a voluntary contribution. We've really enjoyed fantastic support over the years. I think we've done great things. Our program has a vision and a mission statement. I'm not going to belabor this too much. We have 4 regions that we've broken into: the Midwest, the Northeast, the Southeast, and the West. We have an oversight panel. Each region has a representative on that oversight panel. We also have 2 at-large members and myself. Greg Hansen is the new addition from the West region. We just had Bruce Erickson, who retired, and the West region appointed a representative, Greg Hansen from Washington. He's going to be taking that role, and so we welcome Greg to that. I mentioned the support that we've had over the years. It's amazing. We started out in 2009 and had 19 states. We've topped out here at 41 states that have contributed over the years and have kind of held steady with that. But that's pretty good. 41 states on a voluntary contribution where they're asked to give the program money. Everybody's got tight budgets, we all know that, and so we really appreciate those states that have contributed in that effort. One of the things that has just recently happened, you heard George talk about it a little bit yesterday, and that is, since our inception in 2009, we had a $3,000 contribution level that we were asking states to contribute. We have grown our program. We have grown the staff of folks that are supporting our program through the National Center of Pavement Preservation. We've started adding things here that I'll get into, web-based training in particular. And so a couple of years ago, we knew that we were going to start running short of funds. We're running a surplus. We've got a surplus, but that's from the early years when we didn't have much of a staff and we weren't meeting regularly, and so we were building a bit of a surplus. Now, every year, we're spending a little more than we were taking in, and so we recognized that we were going to have to ask for an increase in contributions. Went through that process, as George described, through the new AASHTO structure, got that approval. And so, as I mentioned, we're now in good shape, continue on with our program, and pay for the things that NCPP is providing us, and continue developing new web-based training. What kinds of things do we provide? Technical presentations, the annual conferences, and so you all, every state is allowed to send 1 representative to the national meeting or to the regional meetings. Their travel, their expenses is all taken care of. I know from Kansas's perspective that makes all the difference in the world. We wouldn't be here. Representatives from Kansas wouldn't be here unless we had that availability. And so it allows us to do a lot of good things. We have a website, EMTSP.org, that is maintained and has tons of good information in it. One of the things in particular that I find useful is just an active contact list. It's hard to keep that up to date. We've been really good at, through these meetings, making sure that those contact lists are accurate. There's a lot of turnover in our positions, as you all know. And so when you want to know who the person in Kansas is, or the person in Nebraska or California, that you can call and send an email, you can go to this list and find it. It also has capability of emailing a region at a time. And so you email the West region or you email the Midwest. You can email everybody, the entire list of contacts for equipment managers through all the nation. So that's been a really handy tool, and I know many of you have used that because I see those emails go back and forth. One of the things that folks at Michigan have done for us, we saw a presentation, or we will be seeing a presentation, I guess. The folks at Michigan State have really been awesome at working this whole performance measures issue for us. We as a group decided it would be a really good thing if we had developed performance measures that give us an indication of how healthy our fleets are. They really picked that ball up and ran with it, and now if you go to our website, you can see quite a few states that are reporting many of those measures within their fleets. It's good to use that then to kind of compare how you're doing with others. If somebody's really making good progress on these measures, you can contact them and see what they're doing, maybe learn a little bit from them. So very handy. We do these conferences, and so look at that. There's our conference today, I guess. We really are set up to do good things in these conferences. The overall picture is on the even-numbered years, we do national conferences like this, 2018, an even-number year. In the odd years, we'll do regional meetings. The West meets, the Southeast meets, and the Northeast and the Midwest have elected to meet jointly, rotating who hosts it, and so that has been great. So that's the plan moving forward. If you're wondering what's going to happen next year, it's going to be regional meetings. I mentioned the performance measures. Here's the list of folks that help Michigan State with that effort. If you know somebody on there and you want to visit with them, they can tell you what that's all about. Those performance measures that I mentioned, there are actually 5 performance measures. We just added that 5th one officially at the meeting in Charlotte yesterday, or last week. Preventative maintenance compliance, replacement recommended, utilization, availability, and the brand new one is scheduled versus unscheduled repairs. And so if you're wondering how many of the states around you are doing with those measures, go to our website and you can find out. Currently, there's 35 states reporting that. Here's an example of what you'll find on the website. The name of the state has been obscured so that there's no embarrassment, although you wouldn't be embarrassed with these figures, but clear to the right is their overall reporting, and then each element leading up to that. So their PM compliance on top. I can't read it, and my slide isn't. I'm sorry. Okay. So there you go. Then there's also a slide that does the whole comparison of everybody that's reporting. So you can get kind of a quick view of how that works. We've got an education committee that we have put together, EMTSP has put together, and that's all in an effort to develop web-based training modules. 2 web-based training modules that are complete. We have partnered up with another technical services program called TC3. Those guys are really responsible for providing training, web-based training. You can go to their website and take all kinds of different training modules. And so we're using them to host this training. We developed it. It takes quite a bit to put together. The first one that got listed was the preventative maintenance concepts. And the second one is now out and available, benchmarking and best practices. You can reach those training modules through our website, the EMTSP, or you can go directly to the TC3 website and search for them. I think it's on the next slide. Here's what it looks like when you go there and launch that training. It's interactive, it's narrated. There are quick questionnaires as you go through it to make sure you're paying attention and understand the concepts. And then at the end of the training, you'll get credit for it. The overall picture for us is that we're going to have a wide catalog of training. It's all designed for equipment managers, like most of the folks that are in the room here. The target audience is really somebody who's been in that position, 3-5 years, and you can pick up lots of good stuff. We've We've got the third training module 90% done, I believe. Establishing core equipment complements and operational sizing. So how big should your fleet be? Where should they be distributed? All those sorts of things. That one's almost ready to be presented. It's close. And the next one on the list is utilization management concept for state fleets. That one's just beginning to be under development. One of the things that we're going to do is we're going to be sending you all out a survey monkey so that we can get an understanding of what you think would be good training modules for us to be developing. And so that we can go through that list, we'll get it prioritized from you, and we'll be using that then to really take the next steps in building that catalog of training. Here's what our website looks like. This is the home page. One of the things that's really valuable on that website as well is you see the camera in the back of the room. All of the presentations that are done at these regional and national website or national conferences are videotaped and available in our website. And so if you weren't able to attend, you can go and view that, or if you're like me and struggle with your memory, you can go back and watch a presentation that you remembered seeing last year or 2 years ago. Maybe it didn't have as much meaning to you at the time, but all of a sudden now it's an issue in your state. I found that pretty valuable to be able to go back and watch that training. Again, I mentioned the contacts. Here's how you get to the contacts and what that looks like. All of our, we have an oversight panel that I had mentioned before. All of our meetings that we have with that oversight panel, all of the minutes from those meetings are available. You can go and see what we're talking about along with the agendas. And so we're trying to be as upfront and transparent as possible. If you have any questions about what this program's doing for you, or if you want to explain to your management why you should be contributing as a state, go and look and see what kinds of things that we're discussing. And so with that, we really appreciate the support that you've all have entrusted in us. We ask for that to be continued. If you have a hand in that, we would love for you to continue to lobby your state to continue to contribute, because in my opinion, we're doing great things here. We're able to work amongst each other and learn lots from our peers. And so without EMTSP, I'm not sure that this conference would be taking place. And so with that, are there any questions that you've got about the program in particular? Very good. I think that's it for me then. Thank you very much.
The preceding was produced by the National Center for Pavement Preservation. More information can be found on the web at pavementpreservation.org. Additional support provided by Michigan State University.